All right, let's do this. The 7-2 New York Giants. 3rd and 2, nice play to start the game. Uh, Big third down, get Juan down the flat. That's where they've used him a lot, kind of moving people around. Going into this game, kind of what I thought was going to happen. Two teams trying to run the ball. And we really needed, Saquon to have that day, and he had, 35 touches, 32 carries for whatever, like 150 total yards or something. Like, that's what we needed out of him. Because obviously this Texans defense, as you could see, is pretty poor. Their offense is pretty poor as well. So, there were some concerns that, we didn't do a good job of stopping them in some cases. But, hey, Giants come out in the first quarter, score a touchdown, and, yeah, Cager, when I was at the game when he scored, I was like, who the hell is number 83? Like, I think it used to be Scott Simonson, but that might have been like a year or two ago. Danny Dimes has some time there. Like, he steps up, makes a play. I mean, this guy is a certified stud, Andrew Thomas, and he's, 23 years old, and they said he didn't go up a single pressure in this game. But that was just, someone on the internet. I don't know if that was fully true, but a lot of push up front, just straight stretch. Whoever that is, this linebacker or the end, just takes himself completely out of the play right on the snap, right? Because he probably thinks this guy's trying to hook me, so he just wants outside leverage, and it just opens it up. So that's just like a zone play, because what's good for offensive linemen is you just could take your guy where he wants to go, and then for a running back like Saquon, he'll just hit that seam as fast as he can. Saquon, 3rd and 2, nothing really there. It was great to see our guy Nick Gates play a lot, coming in a lot of spots where he was like in eligible receiver or whatever. So I'm glad he's back after that terrible broken leg injury. I mean, come on, like I honestly thought that'd probably be the end of him, because when you're that big and you just totally shatter your leg like that, it's just so hard. But kudos to him, Nick Gates. You're the man. I'm glad you're back, and I hope you're feeling okay. Davis Mills, again, this is the first time I'm really watching all of this on tape, because I was there in person, so you kind of have a different angle. And what did I also say before the game? The Giants' rushing defense hasn't been that great, and this is kind of, just almost like off guard, off tackle, right up the middle where they had two guys pull. And obviously you probably have, look who's there, 24, Dane Belton, who is that rookie filling in for Xavier McKinney. So you probably have him stepping up right by where that NFL logo is, and probably making an easier play there than kind of trying to chase his ass, and even though he was the furthest guy back. So kind of doesn't make all too much sense how he got in that position, but he's a rookie, he's going to learn, and he hasn't been put in that position. Jory Jackson had an amazing game. He played his ass off. Good for him. Then you got 7-3 in the second quarter. Giants get the ball back. Saquon, I think that was like a 27-yard run. Saquon looked so super healthy in this game. It was great to see. I mean, obviously, they weren't going to rest him at all, no matter what the score was coming off the bye week, because he had 32 rushes and I think 3 receptions. So Matt Breida is good too. I'm glad that they have a competent backup for the most part. All right, let's break this one down. What happened here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys in the box. Look how soft everyone else is back here. It's 3rd and 15, right? So that's probably good for a defensive position that you're going to stay by, or almost where the first down yard marker is. You don't want to get beat deep, but you also want to come up and make a play. So having said that, only one guy out of that 7 drops back into coverage. So it kind of looks. I don't think there's enough guys actually. Saquon's got a pick. This was probably his man from the snap. And these guys are just slooping around. And then, yeah, that's just a good dialed up blitz. Sometimes you just don't have enough. And 3rd and 15, they know Danny Dimes is probably going to need a little bit more time for those wide receivers to get downfield. And pretty good call by the Texans defensively. Big screen right there. Machine Zimenez just getting blocked up pretty easily. I haven't looked into it, but where the hell is Azeez Ojulari? I feel like I haven't seen him in forever. Is he still hurt? That's a hold on Leonard Williams. I feel like I don't mean to sound like an annoying dad. Like they're holding those guys. They're holding them ref, like, because it's part of the game and like it does happen a lot. But I feel like the Texans guys were holding a lot. Yeah, Saquon, when he just finds that seam, again, this isn't the example that I spoke of earlier where it was true zone. This just looks like off tackle, like you got still a guard, 76 right there on there. And that's all he needs, right? This is a hat on a hat. And then Andrew Thomas's guy again. I don't know why the Texans defenders were doing this, maybe for like the play action or whatever. But they're kind of taking themselves out of the play on these runs. And then right here, you just have the seam that he's just going to hit. The atmosphere was electric at this game. It was a salute to service. There was a military flyover. I actually posted it as a short. And this is all just Slayton making plays with his feet. I was so pumped up when this happened. Because this is a big play for a touchdown pass. We never have those. Oh, and Danny Dimes stands in the pocket as he's getting destroyed. This is a 3rd and 9. This is a great freaking play. Look at this. Oh, my God. Who's that? Center and right guard just got absolutely tossed. And the genius of this play is that this wide receiver is clearing out 21, so he's got to run with him a little bit, and then he turns his shoulders back. And by the time he does, Slayton's already has the ball. That's a play by Danny Dimes. And then also kind of lucky. It was a little, obviously underthrown because he was getting smacked. But that allowed Slayton to make a good adjustment on the ball, put his foot right into the ground, and then he's just off to the races. Like, that shows the ability that Darius Slayton has. It just, I think it's probably too late for him to have, done that week in and week out. But actually, I don't know. We still got a lot of football left. Maybe if he could continue to make plays like that, kind of similar to his rookie year, that'd be huge. That was crazy. This is the NFL. You drop an interception, and then the guy catches it for like a 20-yard gain. Also, who is up in the quarterback scroll right there was Dexter Lawrence, who had 5 quarterback pressures. That number isn't bullshit because I saw it on the stat tracker. But yeah, no, the game was fun. Salute the troops. It was really cool. They brought out a lot of veterans on timeouts. They gave them a round of applause, like there was a World War II vet. They also gave one guy a dog, a service dog, and I was like, oh my God, I don't think there were many dry eyes in the crowd for that one because the dog ran from one side of the end zone to the other. The guy was there with his wife and kids. It was a good moment, especially for them if they really need it, Okay, 14-10, third quarter, 7.5 minutes. Yeah, Wan'Dale's good at finding little pockets of space and then just turning it up. Saquon again, all he needs is that space. This was one that I was watching in the crowd, and I was just like, something happened with the Texans because there's two guys here. Yeah, this guy must have messed up because there's two guys right here. Like, he was open too, and then this one just dump it into Hodgins. I guess he was the guy they signed off the practice squad from the Bills. That Giants fans, I love you guys, but you guys were like acting like we just signed like Randy Moss or something. And I guess because we don't have any really good wide receivers, people were optimistic about it. But when people get cut in the NFL, it's not because they're, the second coming of something. So there was that Saquon anytime touchdown. If you threw that in your parlay. And the Saquon rushing props hit obviously pretty easily. I don't know what the Texans are going to do to move forward with and rebuild on because their running back's good. Actually, and the Giants also have a habit of making tight ends look really good. But this guy, Jordan Akins, like, he's good. Like, we do have a habit of making guys look really, really good, especially tight ends. But he looks like he's good. He's big. He makes plays. He's athletic. Like, he could run after the catch, too. Like, they probably just need to shore up their offensive line because they were holding everywhere. And then I think they have, like, older wide receivers, too. Jihad is the man. Look at him. Nico Collins is young for them. I think he was a wide receiver out of Michigan, probably like a second-year guy. Brandon Cooks, obviously, towards the twilight of his career. I think he was mentioned coming to the Giants on the trade deadline, and obviously that would have been nice, but then you got kind of Darius Slayton playing that role. Dexter, another QB hit, and at that point in the game, 2nd and 25, Davis Mills just trucking it up to the end zone. Love to see Dane Belton get that as, this was his first game starting, right? So that's a confidence booster to him, and good for him. We needed that. Him and Adoree Jackson hit each other pretty hard on that. Look at that. I mean, all right. If you didn't like Danny Dimes before this season, and that was fully in your right to do so, but watch this play. Danny Dimes, the pocket, the Giants' offensive line did a great job with this pocket. Maybe he doesn't let up. No, this is the thing that I mentioned before in previous weeks. So here's the thing. I wish I had the other camera angle. Maybe I'll start doing that. But they're only running to the first down marker or yard pass, right? Because they might have to come back to get the pass. But when you don't have good wide receivers, the cornerbacks are immediately on them when they turn and break in their route, which Danny Dimes had usually forced this previously. But he says, look, everyone's kind of on a guy, and if these guys can start blocking, I'm going to lower my shoulder and my helmet and try and get the first down. And then they're in another 3rd and 10 right after. So, yeah, I mean, a little bit sloppy football from the Giants, but, these are other ones where Danny Dimes might chuck it up, like, especially if you're watching, like, the Jets and Zach Wilson, like, he would just chuck that up as a punt to the middle of the field, and obviously he's younger, and these guys are at different points in his career, but, at some point you can't do that, where it's going to just destroy the game, so glad to see Dimes, just take a sack and punt it, even though all right, Scottish Hammer, I don't want to bash him too much, but the guy sucks. He never... The coffin corner, does he know that exists? Like, does he know that he can try and put it out of bounds within the 10-yard line going in because he's in the NFL and he's a punter? Like, every single punt, he just blasts it to the back of the end zone. Like, or if he does, like, it's in the middle of the field. Like, he's actually a problem that special teams, besides Graham Cano, could be a serious problem as we get into the twilight of this season. Especially if you can't flip the field like some of these other teams do with their punters and, I don't know. Like, this could be a one and done. I think it should be a one and done for the Scottish Hammer with us. Oh. You just can't afford to let a punter ruin games for you. And when you're playing the Texans, it doesn't matter as much. But we got the Eagles coming up twice, who just lost last night to the Commanders. We have the Cowboys again, and on Thanksgiving. Like, these are games where you're going to need punters that can pin a team deep. And like Scottish Hammer, he's getting a break because they're 7-2. If the Giants were in 7-2, and he really calls the game like Richie James did the other week, it's going to be a problem. So 3rd and 3, kind of just a counter with Glanowski coming around. Graham Gano, what do you know? 49-yard field goal. Giants take the lead, 24-13. Yeah, I don't know. At this point in the game, the Giants are just all sitting back. Probably just trying to get some sack stats. Get O'Shane just in coverage. Philly Dorsett, I used to like him in Madden as a free agent because he was on the Colts. Good blitz. Just not enough for them. It is funny when they got to do this. Also, they killed the long snapper there. I'm surprised they weren't penalized. Adoree Jackson had a great game, man. Good for him. So, listen, man. The Giants moved to 7-2. Let's just take a quick look because we have the upcoming schedule here where they are playing the Lions at home at MetLife Stadium at 1 p.m. And then after that, quick turnaround for the Thursday night game. Just pull up the schedule. Should have had this up. Please bear with me. Shouldn't even give ESPN a click. I should go somewhere else. But yeah, so let's review the schedule here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more. So yeah, Sunday 1 o'clock game, Lions at home. Then after that, I mean, you got some make or break season games coming up here. The Cowboys Thursday night on Thanksgiving, like it doesn't really get much bigger than that. Then the Commanders at home December 4th. This is, you got your meat and potatoes divisional games here, 4 in a row, and that'll be the season, right? Washington had a great win last night over the Eagles, taking them out of their undefeated record. So moving forward, like maybe the Commanders have gotten into some sort of, a flow where they're getting more use out of guys. Brian Robinson looked like he was hurt to start the year. Obviously because he got shot, but he looked like he had a touchdown last night. I didn't really watch any of the games, so I'm just going off of the stats and stuff, but I have Terry McLaurin in fantasy. He had like 130 yards. And Taylor Heineke looks like he might not be the flashiest guy, but he somehow could get the job done in some of these games, and I don't really know what happened for the Eagles up front, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to... I want to say I would love to go 4-0, but what are we looking at realistically here? Like 2-2, like I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of weeks goes. But again, obviously this could all change based on injuries, and it's the NFL, so 1 week at a time. So let's just focus on the Lions coming up. Who the Lions I think had a big win last week. Yeah, they beat the Bears 31-30. And I think Justin Fields had like a crazy stat line. 147 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Good for him. Cole Kmet, 2 receiving touchdowns. Von St. Brown. St. Brown's good. And so is Williams.